And nice to have you back with us on this Saturday morning. It's small but growing, a one-of-a-kind church service in the Quad Cities. It is specifically for the deaf, a place where the hearing impaired can understand and be understood and worship without an interpreter. Pastor Tim Eckert is here to tell us about Quad Cities Lutheran Deaf Ministry. Nice to have you with us this morning, Pastor, and tell us a little bit first of all about where this takes place in the church and why you wanted to start a ministry like this.
Thank you. It's very nice to be here this morning. This deaf ministry was started because our Lutheran church knows that it's important to reach every person with the good news about Jesus, no matter what their background, who they are, and that includes the deaf. There are about 95% of the deaf nationwide who are unchurched. So we consider this to be a very important mission field.
We'll introduce the two guests that you brought with you here this morning. First of all, our interpreter to my left.
Okay. We have a member who is also an interpreter. Her name is Carissa Huffman. And we also have one of our deaf members here, Shirley Hampton.
Yeah. I'd like to ask Shirley, about 20 people are attending these services now that you were telling me about.
Yes.
What does Shirley enjoy so much about a service like this?
I really enjoy so much about the one-to-one connection. I don't have to use a third party to get the Word of God out of the services. I don't have to depend on the third person, such as an interpreter. I really feel much more connected. And we have so many different events. We have the ability to go to classes such as peacemakers classes and different kinds of social events. You know, our church recently had about 80 people from the deaf community go to attend the Passion of the Christ. And I believe that the deaf community benefits so much from that kind of service that is provided.
And Pastor, sign language is the primary means of communication, and English is secondary, right?
Yes. I sign everything for myself, and excuse me, and I really focus on the sign language, and I will compromise the English. If there are no hearing people there at the church, I don't even voice, I just sign.
And what does that mean to Shirley, the fact that all pastor has to do is sign? Does that add to the service too, does she think? Or?
Oh, absolutely. It makes the service better. And the pastor also knows about deaf people, that ASL is really the first language of the deaf, and English is very difficult for people to really be involved in worship, and to have to not use an interpreter and to also use eye contact with the pastor. It really helps us to feel more connected, and it meets our needs so much better.
Yeah,
it's so much more helpful.
That's a very, very good point. Pastor, where would you like to see this ministry go? You're attracting people right now from all over the Quad Cities and even out in areas like Sherrard and places like that. This ministry is growing, isn't it, huh?
Yes, it is. We have been getting new members every year. We frequently have visitors. Our goal really is to reach out to all of the deaf in the whole Quad Cities area and even outside of the Quad Cities.
Yeah. Well, we only have about a minute left, but one other question for Shirley. Does she sense an enthusiasm amongst deaf people in the community that more and more people are getting interested in attending church services that offer this kind of a program?
Yes, I have definitely seen, you know, very much an interest in spirituality in deaf people, and they're more sensitive to other people's needs. We definitely try to assist other people if they are families in need that require food, or to help people who have recently had a death in the family in any way that we can. We really have tried to do things to match the needs in the community, and I think that that has changed a lot in the last few years. It's made a big impact.
Well,
and I think that is due to our church, providing what people need.
We are delighted to have all of you here this morning. Carissa, thank you. Pastor, continued success with this. And Shirley, thank you too, and God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. And if you're interested in getting involved with Quad City Lutheran Deaf Ministries or attending services, you can also call 563-359-7105. Trinity Lutheran Church is located at 1122 West Central Park Avenue in Davenport.